Hello and welcome to Agri-Truth, where we will be diving into intriguing conversations about the role, future, and power of our young generation in addressing the issue of food security. Welcome to episode 4, Youth-Led Initiatives and Collaborations. I am your host, Hazel Nyakabi, and today we're shining a spotlight on initiatives and organizations that are paving the way for youth involvement in agriculture. Joining me is an amazing person. He is a counseling psychologist, an urban farmer, and the founder of a community-based organization, Oasis of Little Friends. Joining me is Gabu. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's begin by, winding back time, and we'll begin with the backstory of your organization. So what inspired its creation and the young people behind its success?
So basically, our organization started back in 2021. So basically, before COVID, I had some formal training where I went to learn a little bit about urban and organic farming. So it was just something I just wanted to do like a hobby, just learn about farming, because I've grown up in a farming community, a farming family. So but the kind of farming we used to do back then, it never used to be very interesting. So sometimes we used to feel like it's punishment. So we had a lot of economic crisis. People have lost their job. A lot of people had developmental health problems. And I would see my community, especially the youth, starting to falling back into drug and substance abuse. And we are trying to look for better ways maybe to better the lives in our community. And this kept us thinking, so what can we do into our community to change the reality that we are having right now? If you go to the ground and speak with the boys, the young male who are doing these kind of crimes, you understand that they are hopeless. They don't have any hope. They've lost the job opportunity that they used to have. And that's when now we started also engaging ourselves into the global conversation about food security, where we had issues about climate change, environmental degradation, and we had to look for a project which will be sustainable. And that's why we took to the initiative of vertical farming. So we are trying to train people who live basically in urban areas, because in urban area we have situation where we have cases of having food that is not of good quality, so which also bring the question about food security to another maybe magnification or dimension, because sometimes we find the food is available but is not safe. And that's why we started the initiative of having a training ground. So we saw the aspect of vertical and organic farming, and that's when we started our own CBO and also create that kind of opportunities that we need.
Okay, so just to recap to this word that you've mentioned, urban farming. In your own words, how would you describe urban farming?
So I think the issue when you talk about urban farming, now this is how we have to think fully about what is even farming. Because the traditional kind of mentality that people have about farming is you having a very large piece of land, having a lot of labor, people to till the land, a lot of machineries to do it. But when you come now to people living in urban areas, because with them we have experienced a lot of rural to urban migration, where you have even the youth coming to urban areas to look for better opportunities. We try to basically we measure on those people living in urban areas in very tight spaces, very small spaces. And that's when we started this kind of gardens, which are very sustainable for people living in urban areas. And what we do, we train people to take care of this garden in an organic way, so that every time we are using the vegetables, we are having a dose of good health.
You've mentioned that, of course, this is happening within the urban areas, and there's a lot of rural to urban migration, looking for better opportunities. And the conversation that's ongoing right now is how to get the youth involved in agriculture, because agriculture is seen as, that activity for our parents or the older generation. So how did you break that that mentality and get the young people within the urban areas to now embrace agriculture and see its benefit?
So basically what we do so that we can encourage more youth to join our initiative, because our kind of farming is not like the typical kind of farming that you understand. So it's where maybe we take some PVC pipe, so they are called drain pipe for the toilets, where we cut them a few holes, put some our mixed maybe soil with manure. So basically what we do, we try to be very innovative. So we create an urban kind of garden, a garden that you also want to interact with. So basically we call them beautiful gardens with a lot lot of paints, a lot of decoration, because imagine planting sukuma wiki in a very colorful container. So it makes you even want to take care of the vegetable. So for us to encourage more youth to be in our project, so first we have sessions with them, because our idea is also to provide those kind of education they need. First we sat down, discussed with the youth, showed them the big picture. If we do this project right, it's a very simple and a very sustainable method of farming. And most importantly, it's creating job opportunities for our youth. So most of them have embraced it. They are having a lot of fun learning about this method of farming. And basically the idea, because we are doing it in an organic way, you find that there is so many after sale services that come in between. So we remain engaged with those people that we supply this kind of gardens to. And these have created a lot of opportunities for our youth.
So on to the next question. Have there been any collaborative efforts from, because this is now your initiative, have there been any other initiatives within your community that have been impactful in this journey?
So I think when it comes to maybe having people to embrace what you are doing, because this is the time that you are doing networking, because after you create a beautiful project, you also have to have the networking period where you look for people who are interested in your project and are willing to maybe transfer the same project to other communities. So basically now this is the time we are doing a lot of networking. A lot of people have started understanding what we are doing, because in the beginning when we were constructing our garden, you find that so many people are not even aware of what we are doing, and so many people would not even realize that you could actually plant a lot of vegetables in a very limited kind of space. So basically what we are doing, we are trying to connect with a lot of people. Currently we have a good connection maybe with somebody called Cute Enterprises. This is a guy who deals with installing CCTV cameras, because one of the biggest issue we did in the place where we created the garden, because it was the hot point for all the crimes that used to happen in our areas. So a lot of donors could not step in that place. There's even a lot of local community members would not like to engage in any kind of activity in that area. So we took a hot spot for crime, and we are trying to transform it to become something that everybody is interested. Maybe they can stop there, take a few pictures there, and they feel safe. So we have this kind of simple connection right now, but now this is the point where now we are doing a lot of networking with other people. Yes.
The next question is, how has the mentorship of young farmers contributed to ensuring their own sustenance? How has it benefited the young people, and how do you foresee it contributing to food security, not just for them, but for as many young people and the entire nation, if possible?
So I think actually we always say that food is a universal language. So everybody speaks food. So we always think that when we have food, when we have solutions to bring food, we will always be in the global agenda, because we are doing something that everybody is interested in. We started an initiative about our feeding program, because we realized that if we empower the youth and we leave the children who are the next generation, we are doing zero work. So we're also trying to kind of have this kind of initiative where you're also going to school, not only just giving food, because like I said earlier, we prefer to teach people how to fish their own fish rather than always giving them food until they start thinking that it's a must they get the food. So we also take the same kind of project to those schools that we see they need this kind of project, where maybe they have children who maybe lack something to eat at school. So what we do, we go there, establish a simple garden for them where they can be having their own vegetables there. We go with a very simple slogan: good food, good health, good life.
Because you've seen how things have been and you have your own hopes for the future. What do you see for food security? Do you see a situation where the young people will actually come together? Or is there a fear that they won't? And then beyond that now, how do you see food security as a whole?
So I think to start with Kenya, I think we are making a few steps when it comes to food security, but I can say they are not enough, because basically what you find is that we all want to use shortcut, like the way you see government is coming, giving some subsidies, fertilizer. So they are using shortcut, because there is no way you can just give me fertilizer and fertilizer is not crop. If we can have every household embrace this kind of urban farming, we can have food sustainability in a long run. You don't just farm for today, you farm for 20 years from now.
I think we can end it on that high note, because you've really brought out the essence of it. And I'd say now this would mark the end of episode 4. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for sharing your journey. And so just to recap, today we were looking at the inspiring work of youth-founded and youth-led initiatives and organizations organizations and the impact it's making on youth involvement in agriculture. So thank you for joining me. I was your host, Hazel Nyokabi, and he was...
I'm Gabu, aka the teacher, the counselor, and the founder of Oasis of Little Friends, a community-based organization.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.